Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. It has been quite a while since I made a video, and I saw this idea on Pinterest and I wanted to try to make it, and I thought I would make a video in case anybody else is interested. Thank you to my subscribers that have stayed with me, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. So let's get started with the project. So this is a canvas that I bought from Dollarama 2 or maybe even 3 years ago, and it was a kit. It came with this and a set of paints and a palette. And my son is still into dinosaurs, but I asked him if he'd ever want to do this, and he said no, not really. He's now 10. So I'm going to change it into the project today. You can use any kind of canvas for this, any size canvas that you would like. I have this one, so I'm just going to use this one up. And what we're making is a reverse canvas art. These seem to be very popular right now, so I want to try, like I said, I want to try to make one. So I started off by, this was all stapled on, and I used a flathead screwdriver, kind of stuck it under the staple, used my hammer, I hammered on the end, and I used my pliers to lift it up. So that was the first thing I did. I'm just going to get all this out of the way. And when I took this off, there was a corner that was broken apart. So what I did was I just got some wood glue and I glued it together, and then I just took my staple gun and I put a few staples in it to hold it back together. You can see this side of the frame is where I took out all the staples. So I am going to use this side. Now you do have another option, because this I can't stain because it's made out of MDF. So your other option is Dollar Tree and Dollarama both sell these. I think they're called towering blocks. So what you could do is you could actually make this the size of the frame that you want, glue them all together with a hot glue gun end to end, and then you could stain these. Now the reason why I'm not using them is because I don't want all the little joints, and I could use wood filler and then sand that down. But I just want to see if I would like to make these first. So I'm just going this route because I think it'll be a bit simpler. So that is the frame. So what I'm going to do, and also when you do this, you get left with all these little bits of the frame in here, because these are quite cheap if you get them from the dollar store. I don't know what the ones at Michael's or a craft store would be like underneath, but hopefully they're not as cheap as the Dollarama ones. So I'm just trying to knock those bits out into the garbage. I have left some on here because it's actually this side that I'm going to paint. So what I actually ended up doing was I got my lint roller and I just lint rolled all of the little bits of wood or whatever this material is off of the canvas. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some paper and put it down to protect my green cutting mat, and then I'm going to get some gesso. This is really cheap gesso, Folk Art Gesso Surface Prep. I think I got this at Michael's, but it could have been Walmart. Anyways, I'm not sure where I got it from, but use whatever gesso you have. There's even tutorials on YouTube. Sorry, I'm just talking while I'm shaking this up, on how to make your own gesso. It's white paper, oh my gosh, it's white paint, water, and I think glue. But it seems pretty easy. The videos I've watched seem pretty easy, at least. Okay, so, but this is stuff that I bought. Okay, so I'm just going to get some on here, and then of course I'm just going to paint this over. But see how gesso is really nice and thick? So here you can see the outline of the dinosaur, and here you can't. I mean, I know I haven't properly brushed it on, but maybe this will just be a one coat project here. That would be nice. But we will see. And I've got a little thing in there. There we go. Take that out. I haven't used my gesso in a long time, so there's probably some dry bits. Okay, so now I'm going to start gessoing this. I gave it a bit of a sand, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, so I finished painting the gesso on the canvas and the frame. I did 3 coats. If it was a normal canvas, you obviously would not need to do 3 coats. I bet even 1 coat would have been enough on a normal canvas, but I did 3 because you could still see the pattern through the picture through the other side. So what I am going to do now is I am going to paint my frame red. The accents in my main floor of my house is red, so I'm just going to use this Martha Stewart Ladybug. I've had this for a long time. So I'm going to paint this up in red, and then I will come back when that's done. So I have painted my frame. I have done 3 coats of gesso and 3 coats of the red. And then I also did the 3 coats on the canvas. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the canvas. And when this was on the canvas and it was wrapped around, that's where it was wrapped around. So I'm going to cut on these creases here. I'm just going to use a craft knife and my ruler. This does not have to be perfect because this is actually going to be stapled in the frame from the back. Now you could have cut the sides off of it before you gessoed it, but I decided to leave them on for while I was gessoing it, so I can make sure that I got the gesso right to the edge. So now what I'm going to do is I'll put the frame back on, and I'm just going to make sure I have this lined up, you know, pretty straight. If I don't, it's okay because I can just cut off the excess canvas that you can see out of the sides, but I'm trying to not have that happen. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a pencil, and I'm just going to make very faint pencil lines around there. That's all I need to do. There's nothing going at the top for me. My picture's all going to be at the bottom. Now, this is what I am making. So I got this picture off of Pinterest, like I said. I found a website from this lady who does free SVG cuts, and you email, and then she sends you the link, and then it's password protected, and you get access to all of her SVG cuts. I will link that for you below if you are interested in checking out all the SVG cuts that she offers. So, yeah, I thought this was super cute. So I have cut it out on my Cricut, weeded it. Little tip for when you're doing something with words, try to pick words that are a bit bigger and a bit thicker of a font. It just makes weeding them easier. I have this bookbinding clear protective thing. I got it from the Dollarama, and I am just going to cut a piece to use as my transfer tape. I am going to burnish this on here, especially the letters. Then I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to burnish it from the back as well. There we go. Got that off. I don't think I'll ever buy this bookbinding clear sheet as like transfer tape again, because it's way too sticky. It's more like packing tape, and I don't like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is make sure that I get this between my lines in as straight as I possibly can. And I want it to be a bit up from the bottom, like there. Okay, so I'm going to take the backing off. I just want to make sure that I liked how wide it was, and I didn't want to remake it on the Cricut. Okay, but see how see, it works nicely this way, like everything is staying down on it, but it's way too sticky. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put this down here now. Now this is where I've tried to make it as straight as I possibly can. That looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to stick this down onto the canvas. Then I am going to start lifting this off, but burnishing the letters onto the canvas while I'm lifting. There we go. This is staying put. So yeah, as long as you burnish it while you're putting it down, the letters will stay. And just go slowly. That's the other trick. Go slowly. So as you can see, I have got it all down. I erased the pencil lines with a white eraser. Came off super easy, the pencil lines, because I did them light. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a heat tool and I'm going to heat set this. Just to heat up the stickiness on the back of the vinyl, because I want to be able to dust this and not worry about the letters coming off. So now that I've heat set the vinyl onto the canvas, I am going to staple this onto the frame. Oh, is that the... I'm trying to decide which side I want to be the bottom. I think that one. Yeah, that one. Okay. So, I'm going to just start stapling this onto here. Now, these aren't fully in, which I like. I can hammer them down, but I'm just going to make sure that that is straight, and it is. So I'm just going to staple this all the way around. So now that my staples are in, I'm just going to go ahead and hammer them all down, because as you can see, they do stick up from the canvas. There we go. So that is all stapled back down, and my reverse canvas is complete. I'll be honest with you, and I'm probably going to make another one. And the reason why is because there was glue, I guess, where they'd glued the two corners together and then it seeped out. And of course they didn't care about that because they were just going to wrap a canvas around it. But you can see the glue under the paint. So I will probably make another one. Or maybe I won't. I also was thinking that I could get something to glue on each of the corners to hide that, because really that's the only part about this that I don't, that bothers me. Apart from that, I think it's a beautiful piece of home decor for my house. So thank you very much for watching my video. Please subscribe if you want to see more. I am really, honestly, this time going to try to start posting videos regularly again. Yeah, thanks so much, guys. I hope you have a good day. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe. Take care. Bye.